Hello and welcome back to ABG Sandal Collier's Investor Day. My name is Hanna Forsgren and I work as an equity research analyst here at ABG. With me today I have Nexam Chemical and Ronny Törnqvist, CEO, together with Johan Arvidsson, previous CEO. The stage is yours. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, my name is Ronny Törnqvist. 2 days ago, this Monday, I started as CEO of Nexam Chemical. And I'm pleased to be here today to present what we are doing. I'm doing it together with Johan Arvidsson, who had the position until Sunday. And we will do this together. So if you want, please start, and then I will take the second half.
Okay, thank you very much. I guess this will be my last presentation for Nexam in a forum like this. So I will give the background to Nexam and what we are doing and so on, and then I will hand over to Ronny that will tell you more about the view forward and things like that, and then it will be followed by a question session in the end. See if I can change. Yeah, Nexam Chemical is a company selling additives for plastics, and additives for plastic is a way to actually improve performance of plastic. It could be to improve properties. It can also be to improve the possibilities to recycle plastics. And many of us have been, there is the debate in the society about whether we should have plastic or not, taking out plastic from as much as ever possible. But if you look into it a little bit, we are quite tied into a society with a lot of plastic, and plastic can contribute to a lot of what we define as sustainability. Windmills, for instance, wouldn't exist without plastic. Solar panels wouldn't exist without plastic. Whatever we do in sports, we will wear plastics in one or the other ways. The healthcare sector is also it's difficult to see a healthcare sector without plastic today, actually. So it's not about if we should have plastic, it's about how we can handle plastic in the society and make it in the best possible and most sustainable way. And here Nexam have additives and materials that are enabler for those trends. You should do this with a clear vision about sustainability. Plastics is a debated material, so make sure you have a plan for it. And we have been taking advantage of a program that Nasdaq is running that they called Green Equity Designation. It's a well-defined, audited program where a third party will investigate your performance, and we got the label last year, and this is something we take very seriously. So we don't want to have sustainability as a pure storytelling. We are a chemical company in the polymer sector. We need to do a little bit better. If we look back to the development of Nexam, what we are selling, this has been the company is founded out of a spin-off from Perstorp. It's more than 10 years ago. It was very much a research company until like 2015-16, where it started to be much more of a commercial activity in the company. We have been growing until 2018 through acquisitions, but since then it has been purely organic growth. And we between the years 2018 to 2021, we doubled the turnover. 2022 was a challenging year for us, mainly due to the fact that we are quite exposed to amount of wind energy that is windmills that are produced, and it has been quite a flat growth in wind energy builds during the last 1 or 2 years. It's still in the shift now of improving, So that we suffered really from that. So we follow a few mega trends, Nexam, and we have been taking advantage of those mega trends in our marketing and sales activities. It has been in the beginning of Nexam a lot around lightweighting and using plastic in really high level compositions, composite materials for high temperature applications. Lately, we have been very much driven by renewable energy. We see now waste and recycling. Recycling of plastic is really the area where we see a big future and potential. And then also plastic for the future, about making green plastic from renewable resources, and that can be a driver for us in the future. But we are really in the middle of. So I will give a little bit background on where the area where we are mostly affected for sales, and where we see the highest development, which is waste and recycling. If we look a little bit to why do we believe so much in the wind energy, or we sell additives to make PET foam. And PET foam is the core material in windmill blades. And this is something we got into in 2018 as a starting point. We started to sell quite a lot to one of the big foam producers. We took another one on in 2019, and there are a few more we should tackle, and we are doing that. But if we look to the growth in that industry, it's also first observation is, of course, that it has been quite flat during 2021 and 2022, and that is something we also have seen in our sales numbers. It has not been a dramatic increase in that. On a material level, it's expected that this will grow with something around 6%, and this is the amount of installed capacity of wind energy. Beyond that, and this is something we expect to take advantage of. Beyond that, PET foam is still a winning material in the market. It's a material that is more and more used as a core material in windmill blades. And we also have a potential to develop our additives further and to penetrate the market even better than we have. So we still see a tremendous growth opportunity in this sector that we plan to take advantage of. If we move over to the other one we focus a lot around and often use in our communication, it's about recycling. And the target for plastic recycling is quite extreme. If we look to how much plastic that actually is made in the world, and it has been increasing, and there is it's easy to get the impression that this actually has leveled out or is dropping. It's not. It's still really increasing year on year. The expectation is that by 2030, about 600 million tons of plastic is consumed in the world. The EU target for plastic recycling, now it's a little bit different in packaging and other part of plastic, but the EU target is somewhere in the area of 50% of plastic that is produced should be recycled. Today it's like 15% recycled. There is a huge opportunity here, and all the easy things have already been done. So going forward with plastic recycling means it has to be more advanced, more value creating. It's not about handling trash. It's about creating new materials for new products and new value. And our additives are definitely enablers for that, and it's really happening now. We have been saying this in presentations a long time. We have a lot of projects. It's still a very immature market, but it's really going on at the moment. And this will be the last slide I will present. And this tells a bit the story about plastic recycling. And perfect if you can use the recycling, make a new product, the same product again. Bottle to bottle is an expression in the business, that you make new bottles out of PET from old bottles. That's a great way of working. But every time you process a plastic, you will degrade the material. You need something to compensate. Our additives can compensate for degradation. The other thing is, and if you accept that it will be a degradation, you can go for, let's call it lower grade applications, like trash bags, flower pots, and things like that. That's could be called downcycling. That means that you usually find one application and then it's over. Then you will burn the plastic afterwards. But if we are going to go to 50% recycling, we need to do better. And upcycling, going for more value-creating applications, higher level applications, that will take some technology, and that's typically the technology that Nexam possess and develops. And by that, I will actually hand back to Ronnie, that will take over for the rest of this presentation, and then we're open to questions afterwards.
Thank you, Johan. So this mega trend is quite clear, but it's a more complex situation than an ordinary development project, because you have more players in the array that needs to tie between the people that take care of the recycled material and turn it back into material, and we are a part of that process, of course, but it needs, let's say, more linkage between the end user of the components and the component manufacturers and the raw material suppliers and the, so to say, recyclers. And we are working in that field now, and more intensively so over the last year. The more we dig into this business, the more we see this complexity, and we are putting a lot of effort into get a better grip on the whole chain. But I must say that Nexam is in a very unique and strong position to do that, because we have unique materials to solve some of the core problems, to go from there to there, product-wise, and we have a great network, thanks to the color master batch business, where we have contacts in all the Nordic countries. All Nordic plastic producers already work with us. We're in the supply book, so we have great opportunities to push this forward. That's one of my targets for the coming years, obviously. But to support all this, we need to work a lot with R&D and innovation. We find the market trends, as Johan talked about, in wind energy, what is happening there, the product requirements, as well as in recycling and other areas of activity, also the high temperature composites and so on. Our core value is really that we know what we're doing, and we're developing new materials, and we work on both application development and, let's say, chemical development, in order to link that. And we want to tie that even closer together, let's say, market needs, application development, and chemical development. So we have a lot of patents, and we have a patent strategy that we're currently upgrading together with our, let's say, overall strategy that is under rework right now. And but we have a very strong patent portfolio with 56 patents. It's actually one that is just about to approved. It was a press release about that, which is a very key patent for recycling technology, and we continue to work with this, and also together with universities. And we have, I think it is, four recently submitted new patents, recycling related. But the R&D is really a tool to grow. We obviously need to grow to be on the market and so on, but every time it is a technical challenge, and we need a strong team in the background. And we are also updating the direction of the R&D work in order to focus on the right things, all the limited resources that we have. And we try to have a very strong sustainability connection in all those actions. But in general, you have these areas of R&D, PET foam or PET improvements that lead to foam, recycling, where in the two biggest streams, we have products that are very efficient in the polyethylene, polypropylene areas, packaging material typically, and a little bit that, and in the PET, and those contribute to more than half of the plastics that are used. So we're very focused in those areas. And then we also have, let's say, the base technologies here and here that are used also in the recycling areas. But we are currently reevaluating exactly what we do and adapting the direction, but we continue to be a very R&D oriented company. So coming a bit to here and now, what do we see? Outlook for this year. The wind energy market that Johan talked about, it was a slow start in 23 and a fairly poor 22. But we see growth in that sector and improving, let's say, overall demand. We're also seeing that our position with the, if we have two maybe core customers of the 4 or 5 producers in Europe, we are very active with all 5 of them right now, developing new additives together with our customers, and we are getting more and more potentials and opportunities also with the other customers there. The master batch area is a little bit slow right now because of, for example, building industry and so on. So that is a little bit difficult, whereas other areas in master batch are totally fine and as normal, medical, food, and so on. In plastics recycling, it was launched in 21 and it has materialized in some projects where we were a little bit fast, mainly with smaller companies, but the big actions that we're doing with bigger customers, they take a little bit longer time. So we're working on that a lot right now. But we have a few really interesting cases that are launched already, and we have 70+ initiatives together with various customers. Development will keep the momentum. We focus on recycling and additives for PET foam. And we're working more and more customer-oriented and together with specific, let's say, market areas. And we will increasingly do so. Sustainability. One good thing is that last year we had a tremendous drop of our own CO2 emissions because we have solar panels on all the plants now in Eastern Europe also. So we have either green energy or our own energy. So we're working on that, but the biggest impact on sustainability that we can have is with our customers, increasing recycling, reducing CO2 in the applications. And I tried to be very quick on this because we're almost at 20 minutes. We want to be a part of our customer. We want to continue to be customer focused, but even more so, and follow the market trends and be very, very customer oriented. We want to contribute to and be a part of the circular economy. And we are just in the beginning of a long journey. Sure, we had a little bit of a flat development last year, but we have very, very growth-oriented strategy. And we're reworking that strategy, but the growth vector of it has not disappeared, of course. It's stronger than ever. So very ambitious. So that was the 20 minutes. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you both, Ronny and Johan. So it's time for some questions.
Okay.
And you will be available outside after the presentation if some in the audience have some questions.
Yep.
So my first question will be, with the recent change of guard, Ronny, how do you see Nexam developing the coming year?
Like this, we have a very strong position. We have very interesting material, core technologies that can be used in important areas that are in growth, and with even stronger customer and market orientation, we can take more advantage of that. So I see a really strong growth potential of the areas that we are in. And now, when there is a change of leadership in the company, we will of course utilize that dynamic that is coming with that, of course, to review the strategy and target ourselves even better with all the experiences that we've learned over the last few years.
All right. So if we were about to picture Nexam in 2030, how do you think it will look?
I think it will be much more international. Not in terms of market presence, but actually in operational presence. I think we will be a big player in recycling technologies and providing solutions for that. And I think we will have an even broader technology portfolio.
All right. So if we take a long-term perspective, do you expect any geographies to be more or less interesting?
No, I think
Nexam?
If we look at what is happening in the core areas that we work, Europe has a lot of driving force and strength in that, both in development and in recycling technologies. But we see that there is equally huge interest in Asia and in the Americas to go in that direction. And some of the first really bigger customer projects in, for example, recycling of PET have been in Asia. They are a little bit faster, let's say. So I don't think we need to narrow down geographically.
All right, all right. If we go into a little bit more in reactive recycling, what do you think? What could be potential sales driver for this segment?
Like this. I've been working a lot in the plastic and composite industry over the years, and in component manufacturing industry a lot. And their challenge is that there are an Nexam and other companies that come with additives, and there are recycling companies coming with products, but they cannot just slot that right into a product because the specification doesn't fit what they're using today. So I think that a driver will be that an enabler will be that we are able to provide them with ready solutions to slot in. That's an enabler, and the driver is obviously the end consumer, the society, that we want to have. Everybody is really working towards a greener planet, and that will increase demands on recycling.
There is different types of plastic. Are there any particular sort that you think is most interesting for you?
Yeah, well, there are many different plastic materials, but the big volume plastics are obviously the majority of the streams that will come in. You will faster come into a little bit better defined materials of the recycled material and so on in those. So that's where we are heading. So polyethylene, polypropylene, PET, absolutely. We also have chemical solutions that work for polyamides, for example, but the volumes are too small to work on it right now.
All right. So my final question will be, why should a customer choose Nexam's additive?
Because we can fix their material to the application.
Thank you
and because we want to jointly develop if we cannot.
All right. Thank you very much for your answers and the presentation, and thank you, the audience.